Can I tell you something? Everyone that I lay hands on gets healed. If I'm not going to minister to you to be healed, I will not touch you.
Hello guys, welcome to this channel. Again, this is Loveworld Xtra. If you are joining us for the first time, don't forget to click the subscription button, like, share, and let us know your thoughts on the comment section. Okay guys, this video that you're about to watch is an exempt, a part of the Day 1 Healing Stream Life Healing Service July edition 2025. Now here, Pastor Chris Oyakhilome shares his own personal testimony. This testimony will bless you.
Glory be to God. Glory be to God. You know, wherever you are in this great world today, I just want you to know the Lord is right there with you. Nothing is too hard for him. Nothing is so difficult for him. Doesn't matter what your case is, it's so easy. Healing you is the easiest thing in the world. It's the easiest thing in the world. It happens in the flash. So much so sometimes even those who get healed can find it difficult to believe they've been healed. I told a story years ago how I had an argument with a blind man after I prayed for him. So to him, he was not healed. I thought he was not healed. This was many years ago. Can you imagine? That's almost like it's almost 40 years ago. Can you believe that? How time flies. So I prayed for him. Well, not one-on-one. I prayed generally, okay? And he was sitting on the front row. So I just prayed for everybody. And the meeting was rounding off. And I was just talking to the Lord about the meeting and whether or not, anyone got healed. And the Lord said to me, he said, the blind man you prayed for was healed. I said, he was healed? The Lord said, yes. So I got up and went straight to the man where he was sitting. His son was sitting beside him. I said, sir, can you see me? He said, no. Now, there were about 1,000 people there. So I said, but the Lord just told me that he healed you. He said, well, I can't see. I said, but he healed you. He said, I can't see anything. So I took him by the hand and brought him to the middle of the crowd. So who should I take here? I want to come. You follow me. Come. You got healed, right? You were healed today. Wonderful. God is great. So I took the man and I brought him to the middle of the crowd. I said to him, this man came here blind in both of his eyes. They could see him. I was holding his hand. And his son followed. I said, the Lord told me that he healed him. And still he's telling me he can't see. I said, but you've been healed. Then he said, I cannot see at all. I said, don't say that. God healed you. And he said he healed you. The man said, if I can see, I will say I can see. But I cannot see anything. I said, shut up. We were arguing and the crowd was laughing. They were having a wonderful time. They thought it was fun. So I said to the man, shut up. Don't say that again. God doesn't lie. He told me that he healed you. The man said, I can't see anything. So I said, come, follow me. So he followed me. I turned to the light. I said, look at the light. He said, I can't see anything. I said, shut up. Then I moved further. I said, look now. Suddenly he said, I can see. I can see. Thank you. And right away, he's jumping. His son is jumping. The whole crowd went wild. The man could see everything. He saw the people. He was 60 years old at the time. Past 60 years old. He was so excited. A year after, I sent some people to go find out about him. And he said he's been preaching, telling everybody about Jesus Christ. Now, I thought for a while, if I had left that man and allowed him to go home, he would have continued in his blindness even though he was healed at night. He would have continued in his blindness. A very similar thing happened to another person, a lady this time. So she came for healing. And she was in the healing line. She had a heart condition. But then she was blind in one of her eyes, but you couldn't tell because the two were open. Do you understand? They looked normal, but one of the eyes was blind. I didn't know. She didn't tell me until something happened. But in her card, she said she had a heart condition. So I prayed for her about her heart condition. And she traveled all the way from her country to come here. So the next day, I just went to say hello to several of the guests as they were getting ready to leave for their country. And I got to where she and her husband were. And I said, how are you? They said, fine. They didn't look very excited. So I said, you're not looking very excited. I saw you in the healing line last night. Is everything all right? They said, yeah. I said, you were healed of a heart condition, weren't you? She didn't know whether to say yes or no. Then the husband spoke up. He said, she had another problem that was bothering her. I said, what was it? He said, she was blind, totally blind in her left eye. I said, oh. So you used the eye as an example. Now it's a long time. I believe it was the left eye, or was it the right one? It's a long time now. One of them. But then she used the eye. You used your eye to give evidence for your heart condition. So if your eye had been healed, you would have believed your heart was healed. She said, yes, yes. I said, but you didn't say anything about your eye. And she said, well, she told God. I said, all right. Can I tell you something? She said, yeah. I said, when God healed you last night of the heart condition, he also healed your eye. Then she said, but I'm not seeing with the eye. I said, I know. But he healed you when I touched you. Because everyone that I lay hands on gets healed. That is important. If I'm not going to minister to you to be healed, I will not touch you. If I put the hand on you, you are healed. So I said to the woman, I said, so last night when I prayed for you, you were healed. So she was looking at me. I said, can I prove it to you? She said, yes. Her husband was looking excited now. He's standing beside her. I said, close the good one. So she closed it. I said, now look at me. She was quiet. Just a few seconds. And she screamed, I can see. And both of them hugged each other. They cried, they shouted, they danced. And I'm standing there all the time looking at them. She could see. She had been blind from when she was 1 year old. And now she was 61. 60 years of blindness. She couldn't see from that eye. From age 1. Now she could see perfectly. But that's not the end of the story. So they traveled home. While they're home, a few days after, she's doing her house chores, cleaning up, and then she collapsed. And this was the way she used to collapse before because of the heart condition. Now they're worried. Oh, does it mean the heart wasn't healed? They called the ambulance. They took her straight to the hospital. And the doctors got around. They're working on her. Finally, they look into her body and they said to her, woman, where did you go to? She said, what's the problem? Where have you been? She said, tell me, what's wrong? They said, now remember, they've been the same ones treating her. So they know the difference. They said, who performed the surgery? Because there are no marks. And you have the heart of a 15-year-old woman. Can you imagine that? She had a brand new heart. Now it was time for them to celebrate number 2. Glory be to God. It's amazing. It pays to believe God. Always believe. Tell somebody sitting close to you, say, always believe. Learn to believe. Yes, believe with all your heart in Jesus Christ. Believe His words. Why would you doubt Him? He has all the power. And is more than willing. And He loves you. That's enough. Oh, thank you, Lord. Live your life for Him. Live your life for Him. Live your life for Him. Every day. Think about how to please Him. How can I please Jesus Christ? How can I please Him? That's what you want to do. All your life. To please Him. That should be your plan.